Mrs. Green Apple, probably the biggest name in Japanese music right now. Assuming that you're not overseas, then it would probably be someone like Ado or Yoasobi. But hey, look, Mrs. Green Apple still ruling the charts, however you put it. And I have been, I've been kind of sleeping on this group. I've obviously seen their name all over the place here in Japan. One of my good friends who used to be a reactor, Mexicali Weeb, he used to check out their music a lot. Someone, I think it was Lucky, who's one of my followers, had actually had me listen to a Mrs. Green Apple song a couple of years ago in one of my Twitch streams, and I kind of enjoyed it. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. But I never really followed up to it. It's not sort of a group who'd normally fall into my usual area of taste. We kind of know I kind of like the sort of the girls rock scene, your Bocce the Rock style scene, as I guess it would be envisaged these days. So this group is one that I kind of nothing against them. I just kind of never really sort of picked up on them in the same way that I've picked up on a lot of smaller bands who I usually cover. So this song's called Lilac, and the reason I'm checking out Lilac today, apart from the fact that upon opening it, I realised it's got like 164, nearly 165 million views. So previously I did, so this is my first time ever doing like an actual reaction where I sat down and watched their music video. I think it's actually the first music videos of theirs I've ever seen. And that was To Breakfast that came out recently. And underneath that in the comments, I think it was Jenny Fox, who said, you need to check out Lilac and Que Sera Sera live so you can see them play. All right, here's the thing. I ain't going to check out Lilac because of the fact that you have mentioned, thank you very much, that it is, that was the first song you mentioned. A few people mentioned songs, but you mentioned that, and you mentioned that it's good to see it live, to see them play. But, so clearly it's a good musicianship song is what I'm gathering. It's got a lot of people have viewed it. Just for a quick reminder, if you're new to this channel, as you might be, because if you're a Miss Green Apple fan, you might not have seen much of my content before. I usually start with the studio stuff. Going to be honest, I usually start with the studio stuff. The reason is because I think live recordings a lot of time, as much as I love live music and I work with live music is one of those things where you kind of need to know the original to enjoy the live version properly, I feel, because like a live version is always like, it's taking what you already know. It's taking that definitive version, that version that everyone listens to on repeat play, and it's expanding it out for the fans. You can do a lot of things with a live version. You can highlight things. You can put certain things front and center because the people watching are already aware of you from a studio recording. So and plus a studio recording, you get to hear it in the best possible quality. So I'm kind of intrigued on a couple of levels. Is this going to be another one where the music video is going to have more of the pop sheen? Because they definitely rocking that cool image. They definitely they look cooler than I ever will. They got that cool image, and so this is probably one of those groups who despite I asked the question, are they a group? Because I thought they were a band. Then I saw the video for Breakfast. I was like, oh wait, it looks like this is a group. And then people were like, no, it's a band. So I don't know if they're actually going to be playing instruments in this music video or not. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be another one with a group aesthetic. But I'm going to be listening to the music now very much reassured by the assertion of you guys that they are a band. And I believe you, don't worry. Plus, three-piece bands, I've got a soft spot for three-piece bands. I always think, three is the magic number. All right, anyway, let's dive in. Let's go for this. This song is called Lilac, written in katakana here. Big thank you to Jenny Fox for recommending this one. Although I know you recommended the live version, but still, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. All right, let's go. Sounds a bit like Sokka ni Naru there. Alright, here we go. Nice build up. Of course, there's always a possibility I've just heard this song out and about in Japan, but I'll let you know if I have. いくんだ今日もこの寿命の通りに I like that sort of 3-beat step up 美しい数字が増えるように思い出の方向古いもの棚の奥に埃をかぶってるのに埃が光って見えるように Alright, pre-chorus. Oh, They're going to the K-On room. Go to the K-On room. Oh, the classroom. That's a good solid pop rock chorus. I love just the again, it's like such a nice, long, lush chord progression. Takes us such a journey just for a single chorus. I think I might have heard this out and about. It's like in shopping centres and stuff in the background. Again, I like that. Such a cool, simple way to give you a verse a bit more life there. And then we go into a much more steady, sort of hair-banging mid-tempo, 4-beat chord changes. Anyone build up to that chorus? Oh! Bridge, nice passage. Are they dreaming of being kids? I remember when I was young and youthful. Ooh. Same trick as the verse here, but it's kind of disguising it to sound like a time signature change when it's not. Some really cool structural stuff in this. Like that analog synth sound in the background. Not believe you're a school kid. That's just a really nice melodic kind of chorus. I think his voice as well really captures those high notes lovely. It's the Village People! Are these all the parts that he played in the background of the video that you might have missed? Is this kind of like a Where's Wally moment? That's cool, that's cool. I am an infinite being from multiple dimensions. But I like to do music videos. Alright, yeah, okay. Oh, the final card didn't stick around for long because we had to show the record company. Oh, credit to you, Universal and EMI. But I am gonna put I'm gonna put the bands. There we go, I'm gonna put that on the screen. Because I've got to give a little bit of love to Mrs. Green Apple for Lilac. Okay, this so this is a really lovely example. And you know, whenever you put on, because I'm such a big proponent of the Japanese music scene, that whenever I put on something like this, that is a music video by a band who I know are extremely popular, you know, big chart toppers, and then I look at the views underneath this video, and I'm like, oh my god, it's got like 165 million views. The thing that's coming through my head is like, okay, I really hope that this is, like, I hope it highlights that the best, most popular music in Japan is good. It you know, if you're going to say, like, the music scene in this, you know, in this country, in this part of the world, is, like, what the rest of the world should be looking up to, then when we look at the songs that do really well, they need to reflect that just as much as the rest of the music scene. And when I hear something like this, I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I am so glad that a song like this is getting 165 million views. That to me, along with my shared love of, especially of YOASOBI, that to me just highlights how really great music is getting to the top of the charts here, and shows that there is a taste among the masses, among the large group of people, amongst the sort of people who are maybe the more casual music listeners as well. You know, you don't have to be a hardcore music fan to like and support music, and to show that everyone, the normies, the people who are really into pop music, all of that, this is what they're heralding, holding up, you know, as like a really good band. This kind of thing, that makes me happy, because when I listen to this, okay, it's accessible, so we're not expecting any sort of, you know, if you're a hyper muso, we're not expecting any sort of super advanced, complicated stuff going on here. But instead, what this does is it uses a lot of techniques. It's not some common denominator. Let's just give you a catchy chorus and like step out. If anything, this does a lot, takes a lot of creative steps to be interesting, to challenge the listener in like nice, simple ways. I mean, from the get-go, the beat, you know, we kind of got like a really sort of very beat focused song, you know, you're head bopping all the way through, but the way that verse comes in, and it's so, the structure of the song is, it's basically like most pop songs, you know, the vast majority of songs, you know, it's got a sort of a 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 kind of structure. You know, it's a 4 beats to a bar kind of structure. But then you've got the verse comes in with a sort of a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So over the top of that, you know, 4 beat structure, you've got this 3 beat chord change, and that's basically already giving you these 2 layers. So the song doesn't have to do anything particularly complicated instrumentally. It can stay kind of simple. You've got that really cool guitar bit at the intro, I will admit, but basically it can stay fairly simple and fairly accessible, because it's doing that nice simple technique by having the beat and the chord pattern slightly what's the word I'm looking for? There's like a syncopation between them. They're not, they're kind of, one's doing 4 beat, the other's doing 3 beat, but they're also at the same time perfectly timed over the top of each other. You got that leads you in, and immediately you're in an interesting place. Then, like I say, you go from the verse to the pre-chorus, and the pre-chorus, everything becomes mid-tempo. Now it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. It's much more sort of like pronounced. Each change is kind of punching, and you can kind of feel that's how it's building up the energy. And then you burst into that chorus. I mean, you know, I keep on saying this. In so many countries, and again, I'm not trying to make the comparison to be derogatory to other countries, you know, because I mean, fuck, I grew up in the UK, and in the past, UK has been like the leader in music if you go back decades. But these days, Japan is leading the world, and I think pretty much is set to be the leader of the world when it comes to songwriting for the. I've got my hand out. I'm supporting Japan to be the leader forever. But I mean, you listen to the chorus in this song. And listen to just the, you know, so many other parts of the world, you know, you get a chorus and it'll be like, da, 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 da. Yeah, the chord pattern goes round and round and round and round. But listen to the chorus in this. So you've got this pre-chorus building up, and it just counts some chords. I mean, just sort of running through that, I'm like, what are we up to? Like 28? Like the chord changes are coming at you thick and fast. And yeah, okay, you've got some intermediary chords there, but even if you sort of like halve that down, you've still got like basically 14 chord structure. I mean, however you look at this song is not just sitting there relying on repeating a simple backing and then putting a catchy melody over it. It's got a very nicely fluid moving underpinning there. The chord pattern is changing and moving a lot, and the vocal is riding over that in an interesting way. This is a sign of, you know, a band who are not just trying to deliver something catchy. They have delivered something kind of catchy, but moreover, they're trying to deliver something melodic, something engaging, something where you kind of feel like, you know, the music's taking you on an emotional journey because it's progressing. You know, the melody, the chord pattern, they're progressing in a direction. And so for me, this is an example of a really well-written, music-first, rewarding kind of song that is going to give you re-listens, not because it's an earworm, but because it's just good. You know, it's just good, nice music. Is it your thing? Is it not your thing? I don't know. Everyone's going to have a different opinion, but I think it'd be very hard to deny this is just good, well-written music. And that is something that we don't always get to say about pop music in most parts of the world. You know, most parts of the world, you kind of go, it's not very well written, but it's kind of catchy. Whereas you listen to something like this and you go, that's really well written. Kudos again, though. I will say the guitar work is fun. Good bass line. Again, that bass line, when I was just trying to sort of like count the chords there, I suddenly was listening in the background and was noticing, even though the bass is moving so fast between all the chords, it's still throwing in some cool little bits there. Yeah, you add that all together, nice funky drum beat like I mentioned. The singer's voice, I think, is really cool. He's got one of those sort of nice neutral voices where it's not so, it's not like Ado where it's like, you know, you're like, wow, I'm so impressed that so many people like this because it's such a strange, unique voice. His voice is much more straight shooting. It's kind of what you'd expect more from a pop singer, but he's, you know, sings with a great power where, well, the right amount of power where he covers the high notes, covers so much range really well. Yeah, I really like this. I thought this was well delivered. And yeah, I'm just kind of impressed by them, you know. I've got to say, Mrs. Green Apple, Lilac, this is good stuff. I probably would. I think I'll check out some more of their songs to get a better idea of their songwriting range and get more and more into it. But when the time comes, I think I'll probably circle around and give this one a listen to the live version as well. So good stuff. I thought this was cool. Get in the comments as always. Tell me what you think. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.